The White House press secretary is the spokesperson for the White House press office, responsible for providing support and information to the national and international media regarding the president's beliefs, activities, and actions. They're paid by you, the American people. They work for all of us, paid handsomely, by the way, with our very hard-earned tax dollars. The White House press office is not supposed to be a partisan circus, and the press secretary is not supposed to be a partisan lead clown, or whatever they call clowns, the main ones in the circus, when they had circuses. So what happened? I mean, look, the job requires you to speak for the president, provide the media a sense of the president's beliefs, and that is, by definition, partisan. I get it. But the history of press secretaries is fairly vanilla. Most have come and gone without major controversy. Since the beginning, press secretaries have been, for the most part, competent and reasonably unbiased. Reasonably, it matters in politics, but both sides push an agenda. The very first press secretary was a guy named George Ackerson, who in 1933 served Hoover in America. Fast forward to 1993, and this guy, George Stephanopoulos, who worked for Bill Clinton, well, he did a fair job pushing the Clinton agenda out to the American people. He didn't lose his credibility. That is, not until he left the White House, where for ABC News, he turned into a partisan hack, caught on many occasions, pressing his heavy political thumb on the scales, leading Democrats to lay up interviews while giving Republican guests the business. Then there was Dana Perino, who had the tough task of trying to make George W. Bush look smart and not a rhino. But then again, that really was an unattainable task, in my opinion, of course. And who can forget this, when Bush, delivering a speech in Baghdad, someone flung a shoe at George Bush, hitting Dana Perino in the eye instead. She really took one for the team there, didn't she? And there have been other notable press secretaries over the years. Jay Carney with Obama, who always seemed depressed, never seemed to enjoy the job. Well, Jay now works for Amazon as a top manager. Then Sean Spicer, our very own Newsmax 5 p.m. co-host, was there with Trump. Sarah Sanders and Kayleigh McEnany did a great job for Trump. But then the seas somehow shifted. As Biden took office, a new breed of press secretary was installed. A contentious and condescending tone came to the briefing room.
The New York Times has authenticated emails that appear to have come from a laptop abandoned by Hunter Biden in Delaware. The president previously said that the New York Post story about this was a bunch of garbage and that it was a Russian plant. Does he stand by that assessment?
I've pointed the Department of Justice and also to Hunter Biden's representatives. He doesn't work in the government.
And now, the new press secretary, Karine Jean-Pierre, KJP as she's called. A little history lesson here of this allegedly nonpartisan. Well, she's anything but. She's more biased than any press secretary ever, full stop.
We have to be 100% clear here. Donald Trump is the most outwardly racist president that we have seen in generations.
And look, the president has the temperament of a toddler and the mind of a white supremacist. And I say that because he knows exactly what he's doing. He knows that he's dividing the country. He knows that he's emboldening racists and bigots. That is Donald Trump's way. Everything that is key, everything that is major, everything that is big that he does has this awful racist element to it.
Same one, same person. So right there, out of the box, Joe Obama picked an opinionated, freewheeling race card player as his mouthpiece. But adding insult to injury, Karine Jean-Pierre, KJP, she's not competent.
What is the latest update the White House has received on the current infant formula situation across the country?
Yeah, let me see if I have anything new for you on that. I think it's been a couple of days since we have been asked that question. Okay.
Anything?
I don't have anything new.
Nothing. Oh, okay, but the economy, it's so important. What about the economy?
He has made this economy, like, we have to remember where this country was more than a year ago when he walked into office. The economy was not in a great place.
Gas was $2 a gallon. Inflation was 2%. Stock market was much higher. So it turns out KJP is not only a partisan hack who throws race into everything she sees, she's in over her head. She's not going to last long, folks. I bet you she doesn't last till Halloween. Anyone want to bet? Hit me up on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. I'll bet you dinner.